Welcome to Shnier TV. My name's John Stewart, and today's episode is going to cover engineered flooring style and design. Traditional hardwood flooring in Canada has been popular for 100 years, and when pre-finished solid flooring first came into the market about 20 years ago, the styling has changed very little between that time and now. The big story really is that this traditional hardwood style that's been very popular in Canada all this time is losing ground to wider planks that are available only in engineered styling. The big story here is that most product development that's going on in the world today is being done on engineered flooring because consumers are looking for 5-inch and wider planks, which really are available only in engineered flooring. Now, the first engineered products that were brought into the market over the last 10 years mimic the style of traditional solid flooring. So we have 3/4 inch solid wood flooring on this side, we have 3/4 inch engineered flooring on this side, and it's impossible from the surface to tell one from the other. But I will tell you that over a, say, 25-year life cycle, the engineered flooring is likely to look better at the end of the life cycle than the solid flooring because the engineered product will not expand and contract with changes in moisture content from season to season. But again, that traditional styling is available both in solid wood and engineered wood. What we're going to talk about today is how engineered flooring has evolved from these traditional styles to all the styles that are available today. One of the great features of engineered flooring is that it can be installed in any level of the home, and it's commonly installed over concrete, which is difficult to do with solid wood flooring. But the real story isn't where engineered flooring can be installed, but how it can be installed. Engineered flooring, all of the engineered flooring that's carried under the Laurentian brand can be installed either nailed down like solid wood flooring, or floated, or it can be glued down using the full spread method. And that's the case for all Laurentian products, whether they're tongue and groove or click flooring. What I'd like to do now is to walk you through the Laurentian program and how it's evolved over the past 10 years. The first product line that was imported under the Laurentian line was a product called Kendall. And we went to a great factory and we asked them to make an engineered floor that when it was installed would look exactly the same as 3/4 inch solid pre-finished flooring in Canada. 4-sided micro bevel profile and a very high grade uniform top veneer offered in maple, red oak, and also a number of exotic species. Now the next evolution was to simply take that product and make it 3/4 of an inch thick. What that allowed us to do was to match up with the section height of ceramic without having to build up the subfloor. So Givaldo was introduced a few years later, and it's exactly the same product, just with a 13-ply core instead of the traditional or standard 7-ply core, and that is to be nailed down in exactly the same installation practice as 3/4 inch solid wood flooring. The next obvious thing to do was to simply introduce a longer, wider version of Givaldo. This is the original product. It's 3 inches wide by 4 feet long, and again, it's designed to look exactly the same as 3/4 inch solid flooring. Recently, we introduced a 5.5 inch wide by 6 foot long version of Givaldo, and this meets consumers' demand for long, wide planks. The great part about this product, though, is its 3/4 inch thickness matches up exactly with ceramic installed over OSB or plywood, so this gives the look of wide plank engineered flooring installed in exactly the same way that traditional 3/4 inch solid is installed. We introduced the Givaldo product originally in a smooth, fully filled urethane finish that I have in my hand here. We also introduced a number of hand scrape products, and we're happy to note that the hand scrape products have sold very well in the Canadian market. In 2013, we'll introduce wire brushed finishes in the Givaldo 5.5 as well. The best-selling segment of flooring under the Laurentian Hardwood brand is 5-inch engineered wood, and we believe that's the case because consumers traditionally looked at 3 1/4 flooring as the style of flooring that they visualized going into their home, and that was the traditional style in Canada for 20 years. Today, most consumers are looking for wider planks, and 5-inch fits into the wheelhouse. Now, we sell a great deal of oak and maple still in the traditional Canadian finish. So this is a 40% gloss level, 4-sided micro bevel, in this case in a very traditional oak color. But more than oak, we sell more than twice as much maple. And I think the reason for that is in small spaces like condos where lighter colored floors give the appearance of a larger room, maple has become very popular. So we sell a great deal of natural maple, but the natural maple is always character grade. It is very seldom the select and better grade. What's most popular though are these cool modern colors stained on maple. Again, I think they make small spaces look more airy, but also they match up very well with the colors that are popular today in ceramic flooring. In the 5-inch engineered flooring, we carry exotic woods as well, but I'd like to point out that these traditional red exotics from Brazil are becoming less and less popular, and what's taken their place are lighter colored character woods like acacia. And the acacia is done very well in solid wood as well. But more than anything else today, in the 5-inch category, we see a movement towards these low gloss wire brushed European looks. This is 8048. That's a 20% gloss level, hand stained urethane, and that would be in the 20% gloss range. That would be at the high level of gloss that you'd find in oil floors. Cottage Collection, on the other hand, is a super matte urethane, and this is designed to look exactly the same as natural oil. So you get the look of natural oil, which is very popular today, but it also has the performance of an aluminum oxide enhanced urethane. So you have the best of both worlds. You don't have to recoat this floor like you have to recoat natural oil, but it has the same look exactly. Now, 5-inch, as we mentioned, is where the market is today, but most of the product development that's going on in these factories today are on 6-inch and wider floors, and for the most part, those 6-inch and wider floors are long length, so they come in a 6-foot box, where anywhere between 65 and 90% of the planks in the carton are full 6 feet. And that's really the exciting part of the market today. When we look at the styling that's available in long wide planks, we'll see that the first introductions were hand scrape products. And the hand scrape products were traditionally American styled products. What you'll find in this style of hand scraping are large bevels, you'll find some chatter, broken fibers, and you'll find that traditional deep grooved hand scrape texture on the surface. And in this factory, what I'd really like to point out is that all the hand scraping that's done is truly done by hand, and it really makes a big difference. Machine scrape floors look okay and they look fine on a small sample, but they traditionally don't look authentic in a full installation. The truly hand scrape products are a vastly superior version of this style. What I'd like to point out here is that this is a traditional American style, but the same factory makes a number of other styles of hand scraped. So if I put these two together, and they're the same color, same species, finish is slightly different, but if I move these back and forth, you'll notice that there's a lot more texture and broken fibers and chatter on this American styled hand scraped versus this is a European style hand scrape. And the idea between these two is that this is a floor that's designed to look like it came out of a pub, or it's reclaimed flooring out of a farmhouse as an example. And what we have here is a design that mimics the look of floors that you'd find in a 300-year-old chateau in Europe. Before they had sanding machines and they could sand floors flat, floors like this, these wide plank floors, were actually scraped by hand to get the floors as smooth as possible, and then they were lacquered. And it's just interesting to point out that the styling differences between the American hand scraped and European hand scraped, and there's other hand scrapes that are far more rugged than this one, and you'll find some hand scrapes that are maybe a little more gentle than this. So it's very important to qualify your consumer to just determine what type of hand scraping they're looking for. So the original wide plank floors, again, were hand scraped styles. More recently in the Canadian market, we started to see wire brushed wide plank floors. And the first products that came in were in these European lightly brushed and lightly stained styles. And this has become very popular in Canada, although these wire brush looks are available not only in these light colors. We've introduced as well some rich dark colors, which are typically popular in Canada. What we're seeing coming into the market today are rustic versions of that European brushed look. So these are similar colors, but this is a very high grade floor, and this is a rustic floor, just using wood that has more character. And only a few years in Canada, we would see when we polled dealers that the vast majority of dealers felt that this was the far more popular look in wide plank flooring. We're seeing today a much greater interest in these rustic looks, and we'll introduce a number of new rustic product lines under the Laurentian brand in the very foreseeable future. Taking that rustic look to another level, we have a product that's introduced now called Old Mill. Again, it's a similar color, but in this case where we have just a lightly brushed surface, on the Old Mill, this texture is to look like rough sawn, band sawn timber. So the texture, instead of running linearly on the board, there's a texture going across the face of each plank. And there's a great deal of work that goes into this type of rustic look. You have the hand-filled open defects in the wood. Then you have this band sawn texture that's applied. Then the products are double stained. So a dark stain is put on, then it's sanded off for the most part, and light stain is applied over top. It's very effective in these light colors, but it's also very effective in dark colors. In this case, the product is stained with a black stain, and then some of the black stain is removed and it's covered over with a dark brown stain. And again, this looks like reclaimed flooring that came out of a 300-year-old building. These are just some of the examples of styling that's available in long wide planks. Look for far more interesting products to be introduced in the foreseeable future. We'll see random width products. We'll see products that are stained only on the bevels. We'll see hand scraping that's done not on the surface, but only on the bevels. There's a great deal of product development being done on long wide planks today, and we're very enthused that Canadian consumers seem to be gravitating to these interesting new styles. My name's John Stewart. Thanks for watching another episode of Shnier TV.
Thank you.